All right, hey y'all, it's about that time. I've mentioned it many times in a lot of my videos that my plants are susceptible to getting powdery mildew quite often. Powdery mildew is caused by excessive moisture in the air, proper airflow. So what I do to keep up with the powdery mildew is I spray them. The past couple of years I've been using horticultural oil instead of neem oil. Neem oil is expensive. But horticultural oil, this is actually affordable. This is probably like 30 bucks for this big jug, and it lasts a really long time. I read somewhere that if you add potassium bicarbonate to it, it changes the pH balance on the leaves, so powdery mildew just can't grow. So I'm gonna give this a try. Potassium bicarbonate and horticultural oil. So I have a 1 gallon sprayer here. I'm gonna put a tablespoon and a half of the potassium bicarbonate with 2 tablespoons of the horticultural oil. And what that does is that mix together with the potassium bicarbonate and stick to the leaves. This is only for powdery mildew. This doesn't prevent from bugs or anything like that. The horticultural oil will smother the eggs, some bugs. Give it a good shake. Let's go spray. So this is the beginnings of powdery mildew. You always want to catch this before it gets out of hand. It could actually eventually coat the entire plant, and then the plant will struggle. So you can kind of see it back there as well. This is due to excessive moisture in the air. Look at that. This is a really bad one. It's just covered in powdery mildew, and what it does is it just starts to curl the leaves, and it just starts to slowly kill the plant. Let's go ahead and start to spray and get this process started. So the key thing to do here is to get in between where there's a lack of airflow. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I don't like to thin out my plants. I like them to be really bushy, almost hedge-like. The only downfall of that is the moisture in the air, mostly in the morning, causes excessive moisture on the leaves, and these plants don't like moisture on the leaves. They like to be dried out completely. Zinnias, Dahlias, especially, is another good example. Hopefully this dahlia plant, I let it get way too far. So I'm going to try this. I'm a little late on getting to this. Best thing to do when it gets that bad is just to trim it back. It's covered. Ugh. So I'm going to attempt to just spray these this time. If the leaves were totally covered in powdery mildew, I would remove those leaves, but I think I've caught it early on. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray these with my solution, reapply every 5 to 7 days. Like I said, with this dahlia, I let it get way too far. I did notice the powdery mildew starting on the leaves at the bottom. I want to say maybe a month ago. That's when I should have sprayed. Prevention is key. The second you see something, spray it or take care of it. It's like washing the dishes. Don't let your dishes pile up in the sink. Wash your dish, put it in the dishwasher, whatever you need to do, get it out of the way. There's a place for everything, like I say, but we're talking about plants here. The second you see powdery mildew, take care of it. It'll save you in the long run. Another way to take care of powdery mildew is just remove the leaves, because it does spread. It starts to spread. The important thing to do is to saturate the entire plant, underneath the leaves, above the leaves. Make sure you get the stem of the trunk and everything. Get the whole entire plant saturated. Make sure it's dripping, soaking wet. And then we're gonna repeat in about 5 to 7 days. I'll keep an eye out for it, and I'm gonna set a calendar reminder so I don't forget. Hopefully save this Boom Boom Chilada White Dahlia plant. Here's another one of my plants that gets powdery mildew quite often, columbine. See all that white dust on it? That's powdery mildew. This is excessive. This is pretty much excessive as well. With this one leaf, I'm just gonna rip it off. So let's get started. Look at it, even gets on the flower itself. Again, the key is to saturate the plant. Make sure it's soaking wet. It's dripping. The ground should be wet. You want to get the stem, the flowers, leaves, the base, the underneath the leaves, everything. You want to just cover the whole entire thing. This is a zinnia plant, and this is what happens when you let powdery mildew get out of hand. You get smaller buds, smaller flowers, less leaves, and the whole plant could actually die. So that's what was happening at the bottom. Mostly powdery mildew starts inside of the plant, like inside where the foliage is, not inside of the trunk of the plant. But it just starts where there's not a lot of airflow. And so this plant I caught, but it was too late. But it's recovering itself. Same with this one right here. See all that dead brown at the bottom? That's all powdery mildew damage. See, look at that. So really what I should do is prune all that off, give it a fighting chance so that it doesn't try to revive those dying leaves, and it sends all of its energy back into the new growth. Here's a sunflower plant, and you can see this is also getting powdery mildew. I'd like to know, have you ever used potassium bicarbonate? And if you have, what were the results? Please tell me. I'm really curious. If you haven't already done so, please follow along. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.